Iranian jail.
I said to him, "You're very quiet. You don't talk very much, do you?" He said, "I didn't marry you to talk to you." And I said, "Sorry?" He said, "I rotted in that jail for 6.5 years." He said, "And I so believed that I would never survive." But he said, "I promised myself that if I ever did, that I would find a woman to marry that was fertile."
They had 2 children, but the marriage ended before the birth of their second child.
That night I just totally lost it. There was too many kids. There was no family. I went down onto the floor and I delivered him there on the floor.
Now in her mid-20s, Raisa was alone with a newborn and 4 small children. Her life was spiralling out of control.
I'd kind of gone numb about everything, including I was dead inside. I wasn't alive anymore.
It is very unusual for a Muslim woman to have multiple marriages.
I divorce you.
But in the extremist style of Islam, divorce is so easy and marriage is very easy. And when the woman is divorced, it's usually also un-Islamic without marriage. So another brother of the extremist community will offer her to marriage.
We want to have children. Offer them as soldiers defending Islam.
It was one of Australia's most extreme clerics, Sheikh Faiz, who arranged Raisa's 4th marriage. Sheikh Faiz introduced Raisa to the world of polygamy. Her husband-to-be was a Rwandan. He already lived with his wife and children.
His wife had agreed, not realising herself the reality, that she would have to let him go every second night and that he wouldn't be around as much. And she didn't realise the impact on her life, and so when it became a reality, she couldn't cope. And she said to him, "Either it's her or it's me."
That was absolute disaster. I was furious with Rosie. I said, "How could you do that?" I think what happened was, I think loneliness got the better of her.
In 1999, after the birth of their first child, Raisa wanted out of her polygamous marriage and demanded a divorce.
The 5th marriage. God, this is where I become Elizabeth Taylor's apprentice.
Raisa met her next husband online, another Somali.
He said, "I'm going to fly to Australia and I'm going to come and knock on your door and ask you to marry me." I said, oh no thanks, I've been there. You know, if I bring home another Somali, my mum's really going to end up in Dubbo Base Hospital. Oh, no.
Omar Abdi Muhammad lived in the United States.
15 names, 150 names, got 100 roses, you got game.
He was university educated, an Islamic scholar and a leading member of the San Diego Somali community. In late December 2000, Omar arrived in Australia on a tourist visa to meet his future bride.
When I saw him, it was just love at first sight. I mean, I just thought, oh, Ya Allah, Allah, you've given me this gift. He's a gift. How could somebody this wonderful marry somebody like me who's a little bit on the chubby side with 6 kids and a string of marriages?
Soon after his arrival, Omar and Raisa married in an Islamic ceremony.
I was going only here. I have no idea of the rest of Australia, what it's all about, yeah. But I was thinking also it's a small island with the climate change. She may disappear one day. That's what I was thinking. But I was interested only here, to visit her and see her.
But things weren't as simple as they seemed. In San Diego, Omar lived with his wife of 16 years and 6 children and intended to keep the US as his base.
Legally, technically, or not legally, but under Islamic law, he was still married to her. They hadn't divorced, they were separated.
The newlyweds lived with an ocean between them. Omar was back in San Diego and Raisa was at home in Sydney when the phone rang. It was September the 11th.
I remember getting a call from my mum. It was 7:30 in the morning. She said, "You've got to look at the TV."
Fourth tower collapse.
The first image I saw was the buildings coming down, the way they sort of imploded and fell.
Oh my God!
And I was just, stunned, absolutely stunned. So 9/11 had an impact on our lives that on the day we had no idea what would be.
Would you die for your faith?
Of course. The same as if you asked me, would I die defending my children? Does that mean I'm going to go and lob grenades out of the bus in Lakemba? No, it doesn't. But you have just asked me a question that could very well have me put away for a long time.
Rabia Hutchinson once lived under the Taliban and married a confidant of Osama bin Laden.
She is a legend. She was in Pakistan, Afghanistan during the golden age of the jihad against the Soviet. She has been around very important people, and so by who she knows and her role in the past, she has now become a grande madame of the jihad.
I just, to know Rabia and to see her described as the Grand Madam of Terrorism or the Elizabeth Taylor of Al-Qaeda or whatever, to me is like, you don't know Rabia.
Raisa has known Rabia for almost 2 decades. Their friendship cemented by their Wahhabist beliefs.
Rabia is very much respected because she is one of the first converts to Islam and certainly the most well-known and the most well-travelled. Nobody's done what she's done, been where she's been.
According to Rabia, her reputation is unfounded, and she's no madam of militant Islam.
Well, I think that it would be very easy for them to come to that conclusion after the most shocking things have been said about me, about where I've been, what I've done, who I've married, how I've spent the last 34 years of my life.
Rabia Hutchinson was born Robin Hutchinson in 1953. She grew up in the New South Wales country town of Mudgee. But her childhood was far from idyllic.
My father was scary. When it came to him and alcohol, it was not a good mix. It was very strict and tough. You stepped out of line, you got, that was it. His discipline would have been brought to bear on to Robin.
Rabia's spiritual search began at an early age.
I think I even went through a stage where I contemplated maybe it was aliens, or that didn't last very long.
When she was 18, Rabia followed the hippie trail to Indonesia. It was here she discovered Islam.